I was actually braiding, and it literally came full form. International I Love Braids Day, a day of celebration. How are you going to do it? And I go, yes, I want that. And from then, it just started immediately. It is not by chance that I'm here, not just in Brooklyn, but in Bed-Stuy as a braider. And you know, I have to say Bed-Stuy do or die because that's the history that I come from. And it's, you know, it is representative of a time and place that if you grew up in Bed-Stuy, you are so proud because it was a family. And if you didn't live here, you have no idea what I'm talking about. I was that girl in the suit braiding hair in this neighborhood. This braiding that I talk about is so interwoven in my blood, in my skin, in my hair. It is that much a part of me as air is to breathe. In the 90s, I remember talking to my PR person, and he said, hey, Debra, there is a magazine getting ready to come out. I said, what magazine? He said, Braids and Beauty. I said, I don't care what you do, I must participate, and I'll work for free. I don't care. There is nothing in my industry that is of magnitude that I am not going to insert myself in. It has to happen. I became a part of the first braiding magazine that you could purchase on the newsstands, and that was major. It was not just major for me because I got to talk about and write about and have amazing photography that people can now see. It was validating, not just for me, but for an entire industry.
The reason that I think International I Love Braids Day is really important is because I think it's something that we can take pride in, and I think it's something that's explicitly, literally from our culture. It started with us, it evolved with us, and I think like at the end of the day, it's an expression of us.
You can look back through time and see beautiful photos of us with braids representing different things. So it could be that you are a princess. It could be that you are from one tribe or another, and that's what separates you according to the hairstyle that you wear. It is so ingrained throughout our culture, whether we come from Ghana, whether we come from Barbados, whether we come from down south. It's all intertwined into that thing that brings us right back to Africa.
From growing up, I used to wear braids all the time. I was an athlete, so I wore braids all the time. And then as an adult, I became a fashion model. When I became a fashion model, the only acceptable style was to wear my hair straight. And because that's so damaging for my hair, I wore weaves. So for over 25 years, all I wore was weaves. And it wasn't anything that I wanted to do. I mean, it's how I made my money, so I wore my hair that way. It didn't express who I was. It was totally against every grain of who I was.
When I started, relaxers were really big.
When it comes to the way I look, I don't cut corners, not in the clothes I wear, or how I relax and style my hair.
I had no desire to do a relaxer. However, I wanted to encourage women that had their hair relaxed to come on my side. Wear your hair natural, and I can still give you that look. However, you'll be natural, and there'll be no reason for you to do a relaxer. There'll be no reason to put your hair at harm with these harsh chemicals. And that's how I wind up with that sort of aesthetic. My thing is usually thinner, longer, leaner. My styles represent the movement of hair.
My friend Debra Hare-Bey, she created International I Love Braids Day. She told me that the theme was Juneteenth.
Juneteenth is representative of where we are in this fight for freedom, right? Or freedom-ish, right? So it would be befitting for International I Love Braids Day to claim that as a theme because that is our freedom, right? Braids is an opportunity for us to have a voice in the many different facets of braids. That's our voice, that is our freedom.
I formatted a heart shape of an afro, and I put the red, black, and green accents on it to signify freedom from Juneteenth, that we are free. But then again, we're not so free. So I kind of incorporated a little bit of everything in this piece.
We put together a creative idea that signifies Juneteenth and the strength of people from Africa and our ancestors. So I went ahead and painted a nice big Africa on her with colors of Africa. And the gold signifies all of the wealth that comes from Africa, not just monetary.
If we don't start ourselves changing and not conforming to what society thinks of as their standard of beauty and placing it upon us, nothing's ever gonna change. At the end of the day, braids is who we are, natural hair is who we are. I mean, I think you gotta embrace everything that makes you who you are as a person and it makes you feel beautiful, but I think, listen, it all starts from within and it all comes from the root. And whatever comes out of your hair from the root, listen, you better get with it because that's what God gave you. You better make it work.
I want women to feel good about what God gave them naturally and being able to experience all of the amazing things that you can with natural hair as per braids, locks, twists, and all of the things in between. A braid is a braid, right? It's just a braid. What could that mean or do? What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is it is our form of beauty. It is the opportunity to create by design, as per our culture, representing our history, that we can wear proudly, that says, I know who I am.
We are a people that are resourceful. We are people that are regal and beautiful and creative, and braids is an expression of all of that.
And it becomes your voice, it becomes your power, it becomes representative of being who you are, not what society tells you you are.
Freedom in America. I said, freedom in America is based on economics when it should be based on a birthright. It takes America a long time to find its moral compass because it's too busy being an accomplice to fear and greed. I heard Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. state, I have a dream. And as his lips moved, I believed. Turning the faded pages of an old Life magazine, I saw folks who looked like my mama being hosed down on the streets. I couldn't quite grasp the pain of it all, but now I live through the strain of it all. From Emmett Lewis Till, Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, the terrorist no longer wears white sheets. Today sleaze is by arrogantly amongst us in broad daylight, cloaked by our disengagement, still building institutionalized discrimination, undermining the power of the people of our great nation. Freedom in America is based on economics when it should be based on a birthright.